Morning. Today I, Renu Kholiya, will teach your topic learning disabilities and ways to cater those learning disabilities. First of all, let us know what do we mean by learning disability. We can say that learning disability or LD is a neurological condition. For example, एक अगर कोई बच्चा है उसके ब्रेन में कोई अगर प्रॉब्लम है तो he will find difficulty in performing normal tasks. It can include writing, reading, communication. So he will his ability to acquire, process or retain information will be affected, which will lead to decline in their academic performance and everyday functioning. So we can say that learning disability is a group of disorders that affect various skills of a student or any person, including their ability to speak, listen, read, write, spell, and organize information. Now we will know what are the various causes of learning disability. First cause is heredity, as you can see in this slide. Heredity, if we say that learning disability have a hereditary component, meaning it is passed from from parents to children through genetic inheritance. Second is problems during birth, problems during pregnancy and birth. In this, we can say that learning disabilities are a result of various abnormalities in the developing brain, or various kind of injuries or illness, or when there is fetal exposure to alcohols or drugs, it causes learning disabilities. The third is accidents after birth. We can say that learning disabilities are also caused by various head injuries, or when there is when a child or a person is malnutrition, or when there is when there is toxic exposure. For example, when there is exposure to heavy metals or pesticides, it can also lead to various learning disabilities. Now, fourth is brain development. In this, we can say that abnormalities or disruptions in brain development during our prenatal, perinatal, or early childhood stages also contribute to learning disabilities. And it can also include various factors such as premature birth, low birth weight, exposure to toxins, or any kind of infection. And the last factor is environmental factor. In this, we can say that environmental factors also influence the development of learning disabilities. For example, when there is exposure to toxins like lead or mercury, or or when there is any kind of nutritional deficiency, or when there is traumatic brain injury, or when a child is growing through any kind of chronic stress, these can also contribute to learning disabilities. And this is the diagram in which we can see that there are various factors: environmental factors, genetic factors, and neurological factors, which I have already discussed. Now we will see what are the various type of common learning disabilities. First is dyslexia, second is dysgraphia, third is dyscalculia, fourth is aphasia, fifth is dyspraxia, sixth is ADHD, or we can say attention deficit hyperactivity, and seventh is ASD, and the last is eighth is dystopia, and last is our dysmorphia. So these are the various type of learning disabilities that have been showed in the diagram. Now we will discuss these learning disabilities one by one. First, we will discuss about what do we mean by dyslexia. So we can say that dyslexia is a learning disability that is related to reading. It means that it mainly affects our reading skills or any language-based skills. For example, when a child faces difficulty in identification of words like fried and fired and tired, tired or tried, the child faces difficulty in reading these words. Also, the children hesitate and they requires a lot of efforts to read. So this we can say that dyslexia is a learning disability which primarily affects our reading skills. And the next is dysgraphia. This is the diagram of dyslexia. Now we will see what is dysgraphia. We can see that dysgraphia is a learning disability which is primarily linked with writing skills or fine motor skills. In this, we can say that in this we will find that the handwriting or the spelling or composing a writing is very difficult for a student. Means we can say that they also have confusion between words like P and Q, N and U, B and D. So we can say that dysgraphia is a learning disability which primarily affects our writing skills. For example, here is a child showing the picture of dysgraphia. We can see that he will face difficulty in writing, he will avoid writing or drawing, illegible handwriting will be there, and difficulty in organizing thoughts on paper. He will tire very quickly while writing. He will feel awkward while uh, during pencil grip, and he will say words very loudly while writing. So this is all about dysgraphia. Now, the next slide is about dyscalculia. What we can say that dyscalculia is a learning disability in which we have problem to understand number or math facts. So we can say that it is a learning disability that primarily affects our mathematical skills and reasoning. So in this, the student is not able to do simple calculation, and they have also problem in understanding the methods or how we solve a problem. So uh, we can see here this calculia is more than just struggling with math. So here a child cannot uh, understand how to solve mathematical problems or reasoning questions. He will face difficulty in that. The next is about aphasia. And here we can see the symptoms of aphasia. He will face trouble in speaking clearly. He will face trouble in understanding the speech while writing clearly. He will have trouble in understanding written words. He will face trouble in remembering the words, or also he will face trouble in remembering object names. So we can say that aphasia is a communication disorder that it mainly affects a person's ability to understand and produce language. And it affects when there is damage to the language centers of the brain, and it can result as a which can be a result of any kind of stroke or any traumatic injury that the brain has undergone. So we can say that aphasia is a disorder in which a person ability to understand and produce language is affected. Next is about dyspraxia. We will see what is dyspraxia. So we can say that dyspraxia is a problem which is associated with motor nerve control, and in this children may have problems with coordination and movement of their body, and also in language and speech. The person who is facing this kind of problem will have poor balance. He will appear very clumsy, and he may also stumble, and he will also face problem in hand-eye coordination. And always these children will feel irritated by rough or very heavy clothing. And we can say that as we have already discussed, that there will be problem in coordination and executing or of body movements. So we can say that dyspraxia is a problem in which there is a child may face problem with coordination and movement. Here is a diagram showing dyspraxia in which we can see that mm, there are poor memory skills. The child may face hard to put ideas on paper. He is affected by the background noises, very poor listening. He will have physical issues like he will find problem in getting dressed or moving up in stairs, or he will not be able to balance his body. These are all what dyspraxia is all about. Now we will study about ADSD, or we can say attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So we can say that in this disorder, difficulty the children face difficulty in staying focused or paying attention. uh, Means in this a child's attention skill or is affected. We can say that he will have difficulty in behavior control, and he will be very hyperactive, and it will also affect his academic performance and learning outcomes. So if we see about the symptoms and signs about ADHD: forgetfulness, lot of carelessness, risky behavior, trouble getting along with each other, difficulties sitting still, he will daydream about anything, excessive talking, and he will be very highly disorganized. So this was about ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Now, how can we cater these learning disabilities? How can we cater these learning abilities? So we can say that um, when these learning disabilities require to cater these learning disabilities, we require a lot of support and accommodation, so that we can address unique needs and facilitate a environment where each child can develop fully. For example, first we will talk about first we will talk how first step is individualized education plan. In this, what we can do, we can develop an individualized plan which will address the students' learning needs, and this plan will be based on a thorough assessment of students' strength, challenges, goals, and it should also involve a collaboration between educators, parents, and various specialists. Now, the next is differentiated instruction. What will come in this? That we can adapt various teaching methods, materials, or assessment, so that we can accommodate diverse learning styles, preferences, and abilities. And we can also provide them multiple means of expression and engagement, so that we can ensure that all the students uh, can participate in the learning process effectively. The third one is the third is small group instruction. In this, what we can do is we can provide small group instruction, or we can say that we can provide one-to-one support, so that we can address all the individual learning needs, and we can provide each one of them a personalized attention. This what will this do? It will provide differentiated instruction and opportunities, so that the students can practice their skills at their own pace. The next is positive reinforcement and encouragement. In this, what we can do, we can recognize the students' efforts or progress and any of their achievements, so that we can boost their confidence and also motivate them. And we can provide them specific feedback and praise their strengths, and we can create a supportive and encouraging learning environment, which will foster a positive mindset in them. Now, the next is collaboration with the specialist. In this, what we can do, that we can work with special education teachers or speech therapists and other specialists, so that we can implement effective intervention and support strategies. And we can also collaborate with families, so that we can ensure that there is continuity of support, and it will promote a holistic approach to address the students' need. And the last is our multisensory teaching. In this, what we can use multisensory teaching techniques. For example, we can engage students by their multiple senses, for example, their visual sense, auditory sense, so that we can reinforce learning, and we can accommodate different learning styles. And also we can incorporate various hands-on activities, visual aids, and interactive use of interactive technology so that we can make the concepts more clear and accessible to students. So here we can see that this is a diagram showing different types of ways to cater the learning disability. For example, creating a supportive learning environment, which I have discussed. We should follow a consistent daily routines, and we should utilize the educational apps and resources, and we should encourage the active learning. So these are all the ways how to cater learning disabilities. Thank you.